I was kind of moved to make this video because I watched on TV the other night an episode of Intervention, which kind of left me disturbed. And I'm not sure about the entire process of intervention, where you get the subject gathered in a room with all his friends and family, who then proceed to tell him how much they love him, and if he doesn't accept this help and go into rehab and stop drinking, they love him so much they're going to completely disown him, and he's going to lose everything that he holds dear. And so he ends up going into a rehab, not because he's decided it's a good idea or because he wants to or because he's ready to, but because he doesn't want to lose his friends and his family who are threatening to leave him if he doesn't. It kind of doesn't work for me on so many levels. I mean, I went into detox on the behest of other people. And it was necessary, and it started the process off, but it didn't stop me drinking, not for a long time. And when I decided to go into rehab and I had enough, then things started to start working for me. So I'm a little bit, anyway, this guy was gay, in a gay relationship, and that's pertinent in this instance, I think, because what I want to talk about is I mean, it's mentioned in the big book, and it's something that most addicts, I think, experience. It's the way that we perceive what others are doing to us or saying to us, as opposed to what they are actually doing or saying, or what's happening around us. That's a bit muddled, so I'll try that again. And this guy's family, they accepted his relationship with the fellow that he was living with, but he had nieces and nephews that he wasn't seeing, because his sister and brother-in-law were concerned that he was a drunk, but he perceived it as being because he was gay. And this guy, he went through this intervention thing, and he went to rehab and he stuck it, and he spent 3 months in rehab, and he came out sober. And right at the end of the program they had a little bit on the screen that said he had several relapses and he killed himself. And it was very sad, because when you looked at him, you thought he'd made it, you know. He looked good, he sounded good, he sounded positive, and then he went and killed himself. And there must have been something so wrong in his life, or the way that he perceived his life. And the big book talks about it a lot. It's not what happens to us, it's how we perceive and how we react to what happens to us that causes problems. I mean, stuff happened to me when I was young that there's no point in me going into now. You can read it in the book if you want to. But it's, I mean, it was such a long time ago, and I spent, 50 of my 60 years blaming what happened all those years ago when I was a young boy, for the way I was, the fact that I drank like a fish, the fact that my marriage had gone down the pan, the fact that I couldn't hold down a relationship because of everything that happened to me when I was a boy. There's a load of bollocks, basically. I became addicted to alcohol because I drank too much, and I drank it too much for too long, and then when I decided I wanted to stop, I couldn't, and then it all went to hell in a handbasket. But it's the perception that you have that things have been done to you that cause you to act in a certain way, and the only thing that can cause you to act in a certain way is you. how you react to any given situation is down to you. It's not down to the person who's saying or doing things to you. It's down to you. I make a thing in the book and on the website itself about when you're just coming out of detox or rehab, don't get into a relationship, at least not straight away, because that huge emotional turmoil can come with relationships, both good and bad, and if they go wrong, then again you have that perception that they're doing this to me, you know, this is being done to me, I need a bloody drink, when in point of fact no one's doing anything to you at all. You're perceiving that they are, and you're reacting accordingly, but the way that you're reacting is down to you. And I'm waffling on here and I've got no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to explain the situation that this chap was in, when there must have been something so wrong there in his head about what was going on, that he decided the only thing that he could possibly do was take his own life, because he couldn't face living like that. And that's so sad. And we as addicts have to be so careful that we don't let emotions take over and make us react in ways that are deadly for us. I mean, strong emotions are difficult to handle at the best of times, but if you're an addict, if you're addicted to a substance like alcohol or anything else, you know how to change the way you're feeling. That's the whole point of them. If you're pissed off, if you're angry, or if you're sad, you know that having a good drink is going to change the way you feel. And that's what we do. That's what we've always done. We don't like how we're feeling, so we change it. We don't like what somebody said to us, it's making us feel bad, so we change it. And I think that's something that we all need to learn as addicts, that strong emotions, anger, resentments, he did that to me, oh my god, I need a drink, or you know, we need not to go down that road, because it's dangerous. And I think that's what was happening to that poor man on that program I watched, that he was perceiving that everybody else was doing all these things to him, and the only way that he could handle that was to drink. And I don't know, I guess when drinking wasn't enough to handle it, then we took the ultimate action. It was very, very sad. But trying to put what I'm saying in a nutshell is probably best said with the Serenity Prayer that we all know so well, that we've all said 1,000 times at the end of AA meetings and in rehab and all that kind of stuff. It's God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. And that prayer's up there on the wall. I try to say it every day, and it's so important. We can't change the world, and we can't change the way that other people act. We can't change what they say. The only thing that we can do is change how we react. And I just think that's such an important lesson. Thanks for listening.